How are complex psychological traumas dealt with? We speak of complex trauma when traumatic events have been repeated. Often the events begin in childhood and continue over several years. In therapy, it is important to know that trauma memories often contain more than just events. Children split off parts of their psyche in order to cope with ongoing trauma. Experiences are linked to parts of the psyche, so we need to address the part of the psyche that is linked to the trauma. We refer to this as working with ego states. Ego states arise in traumatic situations and in many cases retain the age at which they were formed. Here is an example. Tim was repeatedly beaten since he was 2 years old. From the age of 5, he was sexually abused by various abusers. Tim comes to therapy at the age of 62 and only knows that he was raised very strictly. Tim has self-esteem issues and is experiencing burnout. At times, he is overcome by feelings of deep despair. Tim no longer has the strength to work at a daycare center, even though he loves his job and finds it deeply meaningful. His life is full of tasks that fulfill him deeply. He has no explanation for his suffering. We want to get to know Tim better and trace the symptoms back to his past. When did he first feel this deep despair? We use self-transcendence and guide Tim to travel in his imagination to his former self until he finds the younger Tim who experienced this despair for the first time. Adult Tim lets his younger self show him what led to his despair. In his imagination, they can talk to each other. Now the adult Tim is connected to a 2-year-old ego state from his trauma memory. Since the younger Tim has remained in the trauma content, he does not know that he is now 62 years old. The adult enlightens his former self, cares for him, comforts him, and, if necessary, takes him to a better place to live. All of this happens in the imagination. We create a new experience of calm in our brain that is linked to the trauma. In this way, the traumatic event can be stored with something good and becomes more bearable. Our brain doesn't care whether we really experienced it or only imagined it. Tim now understands the source of his despair. He can comfort and nurture his soul. He can organize what he has learned from his younger self into his narrative memory and respond to it. Lots of similar traumatic events can be grouped together and worked through with the help of the earlier self. An exemplary event then stands for a whole series of traumas. Tim cries bitterly when his former self shows him the series of sexual assaults. He was unaware that these things had happened. After helping his inner child, Tim is no longer desperate. He now understands abused children he has been working with for so long much better. His own experience has been a meaningful lesson.